Hello everybody and welcome back to Turning Tuesday. I've just got back from the Midlands Woodworking Show up at Newark and I've been challenged by the guys at Mac Timbers to make something out of this bit of wych elm. It's an offcut, there's not a lot of material in it, but I'm going to give it a go. So let's get going. So this bit of timber looks absolutely beautiful from the front. It's got this swirly grain going on. There's a little bit of burr going on the left, but unfortunately the bark on the other side means that it's actually not that thick. So I'm thinking it's going to have to be some sort of plate or something like that made from mainly this area here, and then have the edges of the plate where it's quite thin, sort of tapering up to this area here where the actual bit of elm is not very thick. Before I go any further with this, please make sure to visit the Mac Timbers website. Link to it is in the description. Mike, who runs the place, is an absolutely lovely guy and he's got some beautiful timber there to pick from. So have a look at the website. They've also got an open day coming up, which I'm definitely going to go to, so hopefully we'll see some of you there. Right, let's see what we can do with this. So yeah, I'd love to incorporate some of this swirliness going on here, but I don't think, given the thickness of it, I'm going to be able to do much with that for the time being, but I'll try and maximize what I can. So I think the majority of it is going to be in this area because I've got this thickness going on here. And to be honest, this seems like a good opportunity to max out the capacity of my lathe, seeing as I have a piece of material big enough. So this will take 180 millimeters below the centers, but let's take a bit off that. So 350, let's say it can take that. Let's see, 175 there. So this is another nice thing about this tape measure. It's got a marking gauge and a pivot point in it, so you can actually just scratch round things like this, and you can measure it straight off the tape measure. So I'll put a link to this tape measure in the description. It's by far my favorite tape measure. It is an affiliate link, so if you buy it through the link, I get a little commission, which would be greatly appreciated. Let's get this cut out. Okay, this is going to be pretty interesting, I think. The bark pretty much comes down to nothing on one of these edges, and it's still very thick on the other one. Now, given my inexperience, I can't work out what this is actually going to do when I start turning the shape of the bowl into it. Once I get rid of this bark, it's going to have some sort of like weird dips and stuff in it, which I'm perfectly happy to make a feature of. I think that'll be quite a cool challenge. As for hollowing it out afterwards, I can't work out if it's going to cut through in that thin area to the outside or not. I think it will. But again, I'll just round it off and make a cool feature of it. Once again on Turning Tuesday, we are jumping into the unknown, and I love it. Oh, it just hits the bed. No, I feel like I should take that bit off. Okay, I suspect this is going to be very wobbly when it turns on because, as you can see, there's a lot of weight or uneven weight in this thing. Face shield will be on. I'm going to start very low and just see what happens. I'm aware that this lathe is quite small and lightweight for something this big, but I am going to press on. I want this to work. But first, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get rid of all of this loose bark on here. Oh, look at that though. That looks incredible. Yeah, I can't wait to see what I can do with this. That's going to be very difficult though. Whoa. Woo! Well, this is going to take some real patience to get this down. I'm having to go very slowly, but I am able to gradually increase the speed as I go, as this blank becomes more and more, what's the word? Centrally weighted. That is definitely not the phrase for it, but you know what I mean. So I'm going to keep going and try and get some sort of dome shape going into this. Right, so the bowl shape is there. I'm getting a little bit concerned about this area here because once I start hollowing out the other side, I don't know how much of that is still going to be held on once material's been removed. But before I even worry about that, I need to clean this up because I've been spinning this at about 300 RPM, which is very, very slowly. And as a result, I'm not getting the best finish from the bowl gouge. So there's quite a lot of tear out all over this thing, which needs a bit of cleanup, as well as track marks and stuff like that. And I also need to cut the mortise for the dovetail jaws to grip this later on. So I'll begin cleaning it up now and then start working on that mortise. Right, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with this because the bottom is being a bit weird and I'm not entirely sure if it's flat or not. How has that happened then? I'm debating whether to just carry on with this or not and just deal with the fact it's wobbly. The fact that there's probably going to be holes in this by the time I finish it anyway. It's not like I'm going to be eating my cereal out of it. Yeah, we'll press on. That's going to be too much effort to fix and I'll probably end up making this too thin. So we'll deal with a wobbly bowl. I might end up making some sort of fancy pedestal stand for it later on. Probably won't. It's certainly an idea for the future. Well, it's not much of a plate or a bowl anymore because that snapped off. I kind of knew it would happen, to be honest. I just thought I'd see how far I could push it. You've got to have at least one bowl explode on the lathe in your lifetime, haven't you? So there we go. I've scraped it all. It's looking pretty smooth. I am just going to sand it, get this smoothed out because, you know, I've come this far. I might as well make it look somewhat pretty and nice, and it's abstract. Abstract, that's what we'll call it. Right, there we go. I think next time I won't rush into it like an absolute madman and just try and get it done. This would have been slightly better if maybe I cast it in epoxy. Black epoxy would have held those together. Yes, it would have filled the voids and you wouldn't get cool holes like this all over it. But saying that, I've tidied it up pretty nicely, and does it look good? I can't work it out. It's certainly not going to be able to hold much, let alone the fact that it wobbles all over the place, but it was good practice to be able to get something of a larger diameter on the lathe and practice turning that down. And also the fact that there's less of a dish in this bowl compared to what I've done previously. So despite the fact that it's split in half, it was still very good practice, very good experience. I might even plane these two bits at some point and join them back together. But that is going to be beyond the scope of this episode because I still need to edit this video and get it out on Tuesday. So I'm going to call this episode here, but keep an eye on my Instagram. I might post a picture of this fully repaired once I actually get around to doing it. So if you liked the video, don't forget to press the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.